Today, Kevin and I are going to take a few minutes and talk to you about the Kundig wide belt sanders. Just as a little background, a little history, Holz-Her has been working with Kundig since 1998. We have had a long-standing and very successful relationship with Kundig for many, many years now. And we wanted to take some time this afternoon to highlight the Kundig sander that you see behind me and some of the great features that it has. Kundig is a really innovative company with factories or home offices in Switzerland, but they also have a factory in Germany as well. So that's where the machinery is built. And over the years, Kundig has done a great job with some really innovative features in their sanders, many of which are patented. And so today we want to take a moment and talk to you about some of those features that have patents on them, as well as some of the other great features that these sanders have that make them so unique and so well respected and so well received in our industry. We have machines all over the country in many different applications. Now today we're going to be sanding some different wood products, some veneers, some raised panel doors, but Kundig has a wide range of sanders for all applications, from polymers, plastics, aerospace, just quite a variety of applications that they do extremely well with. And we've been very successful representing and selling the Kundig sanders for many years here at Holz-Her. But today I got Kevin working with me. We're going to step over here where you can see the machine a little bit better. And I'm going to let Kevin go into a little bit greater detail about some of the features on the sander. So if we start right here at the front, Kevin, maybe we can talk about the controller and some of the things that are unique that make it very easy for the operator.
Yeah, sure. Before we get started, I just want to say excuse some of the noise because we have a lot of things moving around the showroom today. So we might hear some random forklifts or such behind us. But we'll try to speak up and make sure you can hear us over all this noise here. But yeah, up front we have the controller here. It's really easy. A lot of power in the touchscreen here. We'll go over this in depth a little bit towards the end of our presentation. But touchscreen here, amp meters to make sure what our workload is. Basic on-off, of course, emergency button. And some hand controls. It is full touchscreen, but we also have the hand controls. Some people like to use the touchscreen. Some people, a little older school, like the knobs and twisties. So we have best of both worlds there. So as we come in the machine here, this machine has 4 heads in it. Okay. The first head is a steel drum to do our heavy calibration. This is really where we're going to dimension the part down with a heavier grit. Steel drum, that way it's an absolute level. And our part is to size right there. The next drum in this machine has a 90 shore roller. We have many different softness and durometers of the rubber. This one happens to be 90 shore. To do a little bit more dimensioning, we start stepping down to a finer grit, and now we're just basically finishing the scratch pattern that we left from the front head. All right. Now the third head. This is one of the first patented unique heads in the machine. This is what's called brilliant or oblique, meaning it's a 10-degree angle. So this will go from straight sanding to a 10-degree angle sanding. Right here.
That's kind of neat. I've seen that a lot, Kevin, and this is really one of the great features on the Kundig sander. Explain to us, what's the benefit? It seems so simple, just rotating this head 10 degrees.
Yeah.
Big deal. What difference does that make?
This makes all the difference in the world. So what happens is, when a typical sander is sanding, your board is moving perpendicular to the table and to the sanding surface here. So what happens is, once the belt gets loaded, or some small debris, or some missing grits, as we're making the sanding marks, this is going to start making imperfections, and the sanding belt is oscillating. So we'll end up with a little bit of an S pattern on the board. When the head is at a 10-degree angle, we're more efficient at cutting, and we're also essentially moving across the sanding belt at the same time. So we're not getting this inline pattern. So we cannot physically make the S lines anymore.
So I've heard people say, well, why can't I just angle my part 10 degrees, feed it into the machine, and get the same results?
Yes, then what happens is you still get the S lines, but now they're all at a 10-degree angle. So in this way, we are not perpendicular to our motion of feed. We're at a different angle. Right. And that's the key right there.
That's huge. So it's very simple, but very effective.
Very simple and very effective.
So this is one of the patented features that Kundig has on their sanders.
That's right.
And just while we're standing here, I want to take a moment. This is a 4-head machine,
Yep.
but Kundig makes single head machines, double, triple, whatever you need. So this just happens to be what we have here today that we're using.
10, 12, top and bottom.
Yeah, top and bottom. There's
planers,
just a
like-
huge range of sanders from a simple single head machine up to bow top and bottom standing with 3 and 4 heads on each one. So quite a broad product range that they have to offer. Today we're just using this machine because this is the one we have in our showroom.
Yeah, one thing that Kundig does, they do have some models that are pretty much standard because they do run the gamut of, let's say, most woodworking shops. But we will always take time and look at the right application and the right machine. I'm not going to force a 4-head machine where we need 5 or 3 or different types of heads in the machine. You don't need a brush, don't need a brush.
So we do stock some standard models, but I would say a good percentage of the Kundig sanders that we sell are special order for special applications, so that we're actually providing the customer the specific machine that he needs for a specific application, and not trying to make him fit into what we have in stock so we can deliver it right away.
We want the right solution.
Right. Great. Explain this last head to us, Kevin.
The last head is a brushing head. So a lot of people have seen brushes before. This one's a little bit unique. It has the same type of brush unit, brush head that most use. Ours pops in and out. Real easy to do some changes here, and locks back in. There. So what's unique about this one is we can control the speed of the brush, the depth of the brush, but what's unique about it is the oscillation. The whole unit is going to oscillate, and we can control the speed of this compared to the speed of the panel coming through.
Great. So ultimately, what's the benefit? What's that going to give you in the end with your finished product?
Yeah, so the brush unit's going to create a homogeneous sand, and it's going to denib and just get rid of the really sharp edges on the sides.
Great. Good. Well, we're going to run some parts here in just a few minutes. It's kind of hard to see with the video exactly what the finished results look like, but hopefully you can get a good feeling and a good impression of what it's going to do. And obviously you can always come and see us in person and put your hands on it and feel it and get a close-up look. But we're going to do the best we can today with the camera so that you can see the results.
Yep. So yeah, describe a little bit more about the controller, then we'll start her up and run some parts through there just to run them. And I'll mention today the doors will be open during the video. This is not possible during production or any other time, only for the video today. So this is not how the machine would operate. The doors would be closed and they are locked when we're operating the machine normally. So I did have the emergency stop pressed just for a moment, and I get a screen here. I can either just reset, but just while we're here, I can always have diagnostics. So I have a full diagnostics of all the different things in the machine, the limit switches inside, the control panel here to make sure all the buttons and everything is working, and the inputs and outputs are all working. Very easy. All of my manuals, my wiring diagrams, my operation diagrams, self-help as well. Keep track of all the error messages I do get. So it's fully capable. It also keeps monitor of my maintenance. So it does everything we need to. It's networkable, so it's got full power to do anything you need. So if I go to the home screen here, it's going to show me each head here, and as I click on each head, it'll go green, and it means it's going to be active when I actually turn the machine on. Okay, I can select which grit is on the head, and the machine will compensate for the thickness of the grits because they're all different. Obviously, a 60 grit is much thicker than a 220 grit. So the head will move up and down to make sure that the level of sand is precise for the size of grit that I have on the machine. So as I change grits, it knows the size of each grit, and we can also calibrate that on the screen. So even if we run a different brand or a different paper versus cloth, these backers are different, we can also accommodate for that. So we always get an exact precise sand out of the machine. So in this case I have 120 grit on the first head. If I go back home, I'm back here. So another thing that happens is when I press the next head over, I also get the grit here, but we have to work in conjunction. So we have to have some sanded off the front head, but leave some for the next head here. And in this case, preceding heads after the first, I have a share. So I can determine how much stock removal I'm going to take off with each head by measurement. So there's no guesswork at all about how much each head is doing. We are very precise and very controlled. So we have the options here. Speed, everything is controlled on the screen. In this case, my third head is also, this machine also has a lacquer package. Okay, and what this means is my sanding head here, I can control the speed of the sandpaper. All right, so I can go anywhere from 3.6 meters per second to 15 meters per second, which is a normal high speed of any machine. So if I'm doing a delicate veneer, or if I'm doing a lacquer, let's say, I might be going really slow, so we just scuff sand. We're not actually sanding through. So this is why we can sand very delicate products. So a really nice feature in the machine. Also, this machine, anytime we have the angled head, we always have the vacuum bed. So this is to propel the part. If you notice, an angled head takes up a lot more room, so you have a long distance between those pressure rollers. So we're going to make sure we hold the part and get through that zone without any issues. So once we have everything set up, our speeds, which heads we want to run, our share, and which grit is on the machine, I can come to our programs. I can save it as a program. So I have different categories. I have solid wood, some veneer programs, some lacquer programs. So I can just set my machine up, save it, give it a name, tell it which grit needs to be on the program name so the operator knows which grits should be loaded. And from there, the machine will do it for us. And one touch, the machine will automatically start up and set itself for that program. One other feature that Kundig has had for a long time, which is very, very nice to have, is Smart Set or Intermatic. And what this does is, in normal operation, you have to raise the head up so we can put our part in. We need to measure it. The first pressure roller, steel roller across the whole front of the machine is the caliper, not just one single point. Because if we have a panel, let's say that's roughly 3/4 inch thick, but it has a long bow in it. So really it's not 3/4 inch. It might be a little bit more because we have to work from the top down. Or an assembly, they're all 3/4 inch pieces, but maybe they're 1/8 inch part. So really this board is a little bit more than 3/4 to start with. So we have to know what our load is for our sanding. So with that, the caliper bar has to measure the part. So we need to open the machine to get it under, close it, measure the board, and then start to feed. Okay? If I am over where Dan is at or a long distance away and I can't reach the joystick to maneuver the heads up and down, Smart Set will do it for us. It will open the machine. I can be back here hands-free. The machine will see when the part is inserted. It will close, measure it, figure out how much we want to take off with stock, automatically feed it through, and we're done. So this is a very, very unique feature. And also this is program, in my program I have it activated. Let's say deactivated or activated. I always activate it, that way it's just very easy. Start a program, put my part in, and let it do it. And that's what we're going to do today. So I'm going to run a door first. So Dan, if you want to grab the dust collector. And fan tube. So you see the panel is not exactly smooth. Simple panel, all the milling marks. One touch, and we're ready to go. So back to my programs. I go to my solid wood and my doors here, and I'll start it.
So just to summarize what you saw here in the last few minutes, a little difficult to talk with the dust collection running. So now we got everything turned off. It's nice and quiet in here. We started with the raised panel doors, and then Kevin, as you saw, we switched to the veneer panel. And all he had to do was go into the controller on the screen there. It says veneer. He selected veneer, and then he had programs in there for the different types. Selected that, and then just feed the part. And I think you'll even see in the video how the smart set works. The feed belt was not running. He put the part under there. It comes down, measured it. He told it how much he wanted to remove. The belt starts, the sanding belts begin, and it just feeds the part right in. So it's real easy, very simple to operate. And I think it gives you just a little idea of how the machine runs, some of the great features that it has. And while this in no means gives a complete, thorough description of Kundig, hopefully it gives you just enough to get an idea of what it is, how it works, and to spark your interest. So if you have questions, you can put them in the comments below. We'll get back with you and let us know. But Kevin, thank you for running the machine today.
You bet.
Thank you to everyone for watching, and we appreciate you paying attention to our videos. And again, if you have questions, just let us know. Thank you and have a great day.
Thanks.